5 men, 7 days, 1 baby, and nobody knew who the father was, not even her. For years, Lauren Lake has presided over moments families fear and need the most: calm presence, firm voice. In her courtroom, truth doesn't entertain, it decides. And today, a case so chaotic, so unprecedented, that even the judge had to pause before reading the file. Because when a woman sleeps with 5 different men in 1 week and gets pregnant, the question isn't just who the father is. It's how did it get this far? And why is everyone pretending this is normal? The courtroom was packed. Word had spread about this case. 5 potential fathers, all in the same room, all waiting to hear if a child they barely knew was theirs. On one side sat Destiny Moore, 26 years old, arms crossed, face set, not ashamed, not apologetic, just waiting. And on the other side of the room, in a row, sat 5 men. Each one looked more uncomfortable than the last. None of them looked at each other. None of them looked at her. They just stared straight ahead, waiting for their names to be called. The judge looked at Destiny. "Miss Moore, you've brought 5 men to this court today. 5 potential fathers for your 8-month-old son, Aiden. Can you explain to this court how we ended up in this situation?" Destiny's voice was calm, matter of fact. "I was going through something. It was a rough week. I made some choices. 5 choices, in 7 days." "Yes," the courtroom murmured. Someone in the back whispered, "Damn." The judge raised her hand for silence. "Miss Moore, I need you to walk me through this timeline. When did you conceive Aiden?" "Around the end of March, last year." "And you were intimate with 5 different men during that week?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Did any of these men know about each other?" "No." "Were you in relationships with any of them?" "Not really. Some were casual." "Casual," the judge repeated. "Miss Moore, casual or not, 5 men in 1 week is a significant number. Were you using protection with any of them?" Destiny shifted. "Not consistently." "Why not?" "I wasn't thinking clearly. Like I said, I was going through something." The judge leaned forward. "Miss Moore, what were you going through?" Destiny's face tightened. "A breakup, a bad one. My ex left me for someone else, and I was hurt and angry, and I made bad decisions." 5 bad decisions?" "Yes." The judge turned to the 5 men seated in the row. "Gentlemen, you've all agreed to DNA testing. You've all been informed that you may be Aiden's biological father. I'm going to call you up one at a time, and I want each of you to explain your relationship with Miss Moore." She looked at the first man. "Mr. Terrell Jackson, please stand." A man in his late 20s stood, muscular build, tattoos on his arms, nervous energy. He walked to the front and sat down. "Mr. Jackson, how do you know Miss Moore?" "We met at a club about a year ago." "Were you in a relationship?" "No, we just hooked up a few times." "How many times?" "I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times total. And one of those times was during the week in question." "Yes." "Did you know she was seeing other people?" Terrell hesitated. "I assumed she was. We weren't exclusive." "Did you use protection?" "Sometimes, but not that time." "No." "Why not?" Terrell shifted uncomfortably. "She said she was on birth control." The judge turned to Destiny. "Miss Moore, were you on birth control?" "No." Terrell's head snapped toward her. "What?" "I wasn't on birth control, but you told me." "I know what I told you." The courtroom erupted. Terrell stood up. "You lied to me?" The judge raised her hand. "Mr. Jackson, sit down." Terrell sat, but his hands were shaking. "I can't believe this." The judge continued. "Mr. Jackson, when Miss Moore told you she was pregnant, what was your reaction?" "I didn't believe her. I told her it couldn't be mine, because she said she was on birth control. But she wasn't." "Apparently not." The judge dismissed Terrell back to his seat and called the next man. "Mr. David Chen, please come forward." A shorter man, early 30s, glasses, stood and walked to the front, sat down carefully, hands folded. "Mr. Chen, how do you know Miss Moore?" "We worked together. Same office building. Different departments." "Were you in a relationship?" "No, it was one time. One night. We both stayed late at work. Started talking. One thing led to another, and this happened during the week in question." "Yes." "Did you know she was seeing other people?" "No. I had no idea." "Did you use protection?" David looked down. "No." "Why not?" "I wasn't thinking. It just happened." The judge turned to Destiny. "Miss Moore, did you tell Mr. Chen you were seeing other people?" "No." "Why not?" "Because it wasn't his business." David's voice rose slightly. "It kind of is my business if I'm going to be raising a kid." "You're not raising anything yet," Destiny shot back. The judge intervened. "Miss Moore, Mr. Chen, let's keep this civil." She looked at David. "Mr. Chen, when Miss Moore told you about the pregnancy, what did you do?" "I panicked. I'm not ready to be a father. I'm still paying off student loans. I live with my parents. I can't afford a kid, but you didn't use protection. I know. I messed up. The judge sent David back to his seat and called the third man. Mr. Marcus Reed, please come forward. A tall man, athletic, confident walk. He sat down and looked directly at the judge. Mr. Reed, how do you know Miss Moore? We dated. Briefly. About 2 years ago. Then we broke up. But we'd hook up occasionally. When we were both single. And the week in question was one of those occasions. Yes. Did you know she was seeing other people at the same time? Marcus paused. I suspected it. But you proceeded anyway. Yeah. We weren't together. She could do what she wanted. Did you use protection? Usually, but not that time. Why not? Marcus shrugged. We'd been together before. Didn't seem like a big deal. The judge's voice sharpened. Mr. Reed, a child is a very big deal. I know that now. Do you want to be Aiden's father? Marcus hesitated. If he's mine, I'll step up. But I'm not gonna lie. This whole situation is messed up. The judge sent Marcus back and called the fourth man. Mr. Andre Williams, please come forward. An older man, maybe 40, walked slowly to the front, looked tired, sat down heavily. Mr. Williams, how do you know Miss Moore? She's my neighbor. Lives in the same apartment complex. We'd talk sometimes. One night she came over, said she was lonely. We had some drinks, and he trailed off. And you were intimate? Yes. Did you know she was seeing other people? No. I thought it was just us. Did you use protection? Andre shook his head. No, I'm an idiot. Mr. Williams, when you found out about the pregnancy, what was your reaction? I was shocked. I'm 42 years old. I have 2 grown kids from a previous marriage. I'm done with diapers, or at least I thought I was. But now you might not be. No, now I might be starting over. The judge sent Andre back and called the final man. Mr. Kyle Morrison, please come forward. A young man, early 20s, baby face, walked nervously to the front. Sat on the edge of the chair. Mr. Morrison, how do you know Miss Moore? We met on a dating app, talked for a few days, decided to meet up, and you were intimate on the first meeting. Kyle nodded. Yes. Did you use protection? I thought we did, but maybe it broke? I don't know. You don't know? It was my first time. I didn't really know what I was doing. The courtroom went silent, then someone laughed. The judge shot a look at the audience. Mr. Morrison, you're saying this was your first sexual experience? Kyle's face turned red. Yes, Your Honor. And Miss Moore knew that? Yes. The judge turned to Destiny. Miss Moore, you were this young man's first. Destiny didn't answer. Miss Moore. Yes. And you didn't think it was important to make sure protection was used? I told him to use it. But you didn't verify? Destiny shrugged. I'm not his mother. The judge's voice went cold. No. But you might be the mother of his child. Kyle looked like he might cry. I'm 22. I work at a grocery store. I can't be a dad. The judge sent Kyle back to his seat. Then she looked at all 5 men. And at Destiny. Miss Moore, I have to say, in all my years on this bench, I've never seen anything quite like this. 5 men. 1 week. And now we're here. Destiny's voice was defiant. I'm not ashamed. You should be. Why? Because I had sex? Because I made choices with my own body? No, because you lied to at least one of these men about birth control. Because you didn't use protection. Because you put 5 people in a position where they might be raising a child they didn't plan for. That's why. Destiny looked away. The judge picked up 5 envelopes. We conducted DNA tests on Aiden and all 5 potential fathers. I'm going to read these results one at a time. She opened the first envelope. In the matter of Aiden Moore regarding paternity, Mr. Terrell Jackson, you are excluded as the biological father. Terrell exhaled, dropped his head back. Thank God. The judge opened the second envelope. Mr. David Chen, you are excluded as the biological father. David put his face in his hands. Oh, thank God. The judge opened the third envelope. Mr. Marcus Reed, you are excluded as the biological father. Marcus stood up, pumped his fist, sat back down when the judge looked at him. The judge opened the fourth envelope. Mr. Andre Williams, you are excluded as the biological father. Andre closed his eyes, whispered something that looked like a prayer. The judge picked up the fifth envelope, opened it slowly, looked at Kyle. Mr. Kyle Morrison. She paused. You are the biological father of Aiden Moore. Kyle's face went white. He didn't move, didn't speak, just sat there, frozen. The other 4 men looked at him, some with pity, some with relief. Destiny turned to look at Kyle. He wouldn't look back. The judge spoke gently. Mr. Morrison, I know this is overwhelming. Kyle's voice was barely there. I'm 22. I know. I'm still in college. I work part-time. I know. I don't know how to be a dad. No one does at first. Kyle looked at Destiny. Why me? Of all five, why did it have to be me? Destiny didn't have an answer. The judge continued. Mr. Morrison, you are Aiden's biological father. That comes with legal responsibilities, child support, visitation rights if you want them, and decisions about how you want to be involved in his life. I don't want to be involved, Kyle said quietly. That's not really an option. Why not? I didn't ask for this. Neither did Aiden. Kyle's hands were shaking. What if I just walk away? Then you'll still owe child support, and you'll still be his father, legally, whether you're there or not. Kyle put his head in his hands. Destiny spoke up. I don't need him. I can raise Aiden on my own. That's not how this works, Miss Moore. Mr. Morrison has a legal obligation, and Aiden has a right to know his father. He doesn't want to be a father. Then he should have thought about that before. The judge looked at both of them. This is a mess. There's no other word for it. Miss Moore, you made reckless choices. Mr. Morrison, you made a naive choice, and now there's a child involved. A child who didn't ask for any of this. She closed the files. This court will establish paternity and child support. Mr. Morrison, you're going to need to decide how involved you want to be. Miss Moore, you're going to need to accept that your choices have consequences. And both of you are going to need to grow up. Fast. Court is adjourned. People filed out. The four excluded men left quickly, didn't look back. Kyle sat alone for a long time, staring at nothing. Destiny walked over to him. He stood up before she could speak. Don't, he said, and walked out. In the months that followed, Kyle paid child support, saw Aiden twice, couldn't handle it, eventually stopped showing up, just sent the checks. Destiny raised Aiden alone, told people Kyle wasn't ready, didn't mention the other four men, didn't mention the week that changed everything. For years, Lauren Lake has presided over moments families fear and need the most. But some cases aren't about love or betrayal, they're about recklessness. A woman slept with 5 men in 1 week, got pregnant, and a 22-year-old kid who'd never had sex before became a father. The other 4 walked away clean. But Kyle didn't, because biology doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't care about readiness. It just is. And sometimes, the person least prepared to be a parent is the one who becomes one. That's what happened to Kyle Morrison. One night, one mistake, and a lifetime of child support payments to a woman he barely knew and a child he never planned for. And somewhere in that story there's a baby, Aiden, who'll grow up knowing his father didn't want him, that his father was one of 5 possibilities, that his existence started as a week-long mistake. That's the legacy of Destiny Moore's choices. Not just one broken relationship, but a child who'll carry that weight forever.